everyone. Welcome back to the Nonprofits. So we have a new Pope, everybody. Fantastic. Also, the Pope has some political opinions that he has to get off of his noggin. So we're going to go to Cindy with that information. So Cindy, go ahead. Let's talk about the new Pope.
Yeah, I've always been puzzled at the Pope's popularity. I mean, I understand the history, the weight of the 1.3 billion people, Catholics in the world, the ridiculous theater behind their election, but still, it's still puzzling to me. Anyway, let me introduce you to the new Pope that got elected last week. Meet Robert Francis Prevost, aka Pope Leo XIV. He is the first US citizen elected to that position, and the entire media ecosystem is trying to read a hidden meaning into it. So let's dive into it. This story is from Yahoo News by Andrew Romano on May 9th, 2025.
Okay. Now, as a former Catholic, even though I hate the Catholic Church, there's kind of a romanticism from my childhood with the Pope. So we're just going to, there's that going on. So the former Pope, Pope Francis, was like trying to be okay with queer people, but the church was kind of like, yeah, no. And it seems that this Pope is also may want to portray the same message or betray, depending on your views. Also, as well, that being said, now I'm going to bring this around to you, Cindy. Do you think that this might be a ploy, as I said earlier this week, about the Catholic Church numbers going down and maybe being more appealing for people living in 2025? I was asking Sydney.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Stephen.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe I did. I
don't know. I don't know. Like I said, everyone is trying to see a ploy behind this election. I'm not supposed to say this, but I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, whether they're trying to appeal to the US, or maybe they're trying to put pressure on Trump, or whatever explanation people can come up with in this situation, I don't think it's relevant, because I personally find this Pope to be rather boring. Everything I read on him preparing for this article showed that he's middle of the road. That's how they used to describe him in the article, and I don't know what to think of him. Of course, the Catholic Church remains the worst criminal institution in the world, and I don't believe it can change enough to ever catch up to the rest of society. So this Pope seems to trigger hope in some people, not me, but yeah, some people. And just like others before him, he'll just express his will to progress in a couple of topics, and nothing will really change. And he'll still be conservative on most topics, and people in the world will keep suffering because of this criminal institution, like victims of AIDS in Africa, gay and trans people everywhere, abused nuns, children. All those categories of people have been harmed in a way or other by the Catholic Church. Regarding this specific Pope, I would like to say that there's been some allegations of cover-up about sexual abuse in children. I added an article in the description. We added an article in the description of this video that will give more context to this. And apparently, some people say that he's done a lot to prevent abuse and report abuse that was happening. So regarding this very specific point, I think we should be wary to not jump to conclusions and wait until we have more information. But in any case, the Pope is not the issue. The Catholic Church is.
I agree. And EJ, I want to turn to you because I kind of feel this way too about the new Pope being an American. This was not something I expected. And though he has said some critical things about the current administration, but also I do know the Catholic Church past flirtations with authoritarian governments, which that's something you should all note. So I was kind of getting your feeling why does this feel odd? Why is it feels odd to a lot of people about him being an American and, the kind of vibe that's going on right now with him. So I would love to hear your opinion on that.
It feels odd to me for a couple of reasons. One of which is for a lot of cultural reasons, the Pope has almost always been European, given that for a lot of the Catholic Church's history, Europe was where everything that affected the Catholic Church happened, whether it be good things or bad things, mainly bad things. 30 Years' War. And now that it's someone who is from a different continent, it feels a bit odd. Not that I'm opposed to changing the Catholic Church, because I would like to change as much as possible. Although I do wonder how the US, given that it has the largest group of Protestants out of any country in the world, will deal with it. Will they be happy? Will they be sad? It's the US, so I imagine a lot of mixed feelings. However, I do have one thing to note about him that is quite funny that I found out on accident, not researching. He apparently had a fling when he was 19 with someone from Chicago. So that means there might be someone out there who's done the Pope, which, if so, that is the best brag anyone could ever have.
Going for a ride in the Pope mobile.
Yeah, there you go. So, I'm in a minute. I'm going to just share some weird Pope factoids that I feel like I need to share. But Stephen, you had a thought.
I had a thought.
So give us a thought.
What do you think 45 would have done if the Pope was a person of color? What would have gone on in his racist little brain? Would he have completely? We already know that a lot of American Catholics were pulling away from Pope Francis because of his progressive stance, because America has this current riding a wave of conservatism, and so they would sooner listen to popular media Catholic figures rather than listen to the Pope. So there was already a divide happening there. And if the Pope would have been a person of color, would 45 have just I don't think he would have publicly derided him, but I think I wonder, how deep would that divide have gone? And conversely, how much reconciliation will Vatican City see with America? Because we've got one of your people on our team now. That gets us something, right?
Maybe. Just though it's odd that the Pope is American, I just want to some popes in the past. One put a corpse on trial. Another one had orgies in the Vatican. Another one had 3 popes have fathered children. One pope was a woman, and another pope sold the papacy and then tried to buy it back. Some popes had executioners on their staff, and Pope Leo X blew church money on a pet elephant. So if you want to look at weird Pope facts, I recommend weird Pope facts.
If I may, the Pope, I can add something kind of even weirder about the Pope. He was the head of a standing army. The Vatican City had an army. Not Tectonic Knights either. They used guns. They used rolling block rifles, and they are marked with Christian inscriptions. It is the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life.
Well, and yet
apparently you can catch holy smoke.
It's on brand.
Well, yeah, that too.
It is on brand. Like, I mean, like, you know, if you're gonna let your freak flag fly, you might as well do it that way. Oh my goodness! Oh, the papacy
It's a bit
is
weird that you could get.
It wasn't weird when I was a Catholic, but now it's.
From a Pope.
So anyway, okay, Cindy, hi. Let me get this train back on the road. So, let's see. Okay, so Pope Louis, oh, you special ma'am, are a little bit skeptical about his genuine belief in reform, and this, you know, maybe there's a little bit of desperation, as I mentioned before. And do you think he's going to do anything to kind of clean up the corrupt system that is like so insidiously woven into every aspect of the church? Like, do you see him trying to do reform and trying to make it a better place?
I think he will try something. Yes, I think if what I saw in this CNN article is true, he will try to make sure that any abuse occurred in the church will be taken care of and not just hidden or whatever they used to do so far. He's probably going to try to do something. The extent to which we have to wait and see. I don't know. It's, to me, it feels like even though the Pope himself is important, I think we underestimate the power of the Vatican's government. Well, if we can call it that way, all the people that are just below him and that can be extremely conservative. I think they will decide what happens in terms of progress.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to believe in the better angels of our nature. And I want to think that maybe, like, you know, someone with like fresh ideas might want to like shake things up. But the way that systems work, I'm not feeling super happy about how things are going to go, especially like there was, I forget who it was from the papacy said that they wanted the church to go back to become more conservative. So if Pope Leo's going to be butting heads against that, I'm not feeling super confident about that. So anyway, hey, Stephen, let's talk about Augustine's love and do what I will. Let's talk about that in power. Stephen, give me some opinions.
Yeah, like, so Leo here, I'm using his chosen name, of course, is a member of the Augustine order, and I'm only a little bit familiar of what the different orders mean. Like, I guess there's the Franciscans and the Jesuits, and then the Augustines. Augustines being named after August of Hippo. And I remember when I was a Christian, trying to struggle through my faith, one quote that was from August really stuck out to me, and that was like, love God and do what you will. Just that freedom, like, okay, once you have if loving God is your main priority, if that one comes first, then what your will bleed out from that goodness. And then I was really digging with that and trying to, before I had to like really double down on inerrancy and whatnot. Like, if that is, you know, a mantra that he selected, assuming that he could have joined any order, the fact that he chose the Augustinians, you know, that speaks to someone who, you know, has a priority of loving people and doing what is right before the dogma of legislating what is right. That you know, I don't know much about all the other orders, but it seems like there is a worse, you know, fraternity for, is it like a fraternity? It seems like there'd be a worse fraternity that he could have been coming out from.
It's a fraternity silly hats. that's what it is. That's pretty much the papacy. So EJ, how as a Scot, like I have definitely felt the effects of the Catholic Church here in the United States. I was brought up Catholic. I was brought up French Catholic, which is its own brand of Catholic. So, like, have you experienced like not only the Catholic Church within Scotland, but like how are the Scots relating to this like new papacy, and and him being American, and maybe be progressive. Maybe.
So Scotland has a very weird relation with Catholicism, because a lot of people who support Catholicism in Scotland are also what would be described as Irish Republicans, which goes back to the Troubles, and there's a lot of complicated politics there. However, a general theme is that Irish Republicans support downtrodden people. So people like the Palestinians, an Irish Republican would be very fond of. Issue is, not a lot of Americans are, especially not higher up. So if it comes out that... Now, hopefully he sticks to his guns and he says that he sticks to what Pope Francis was doing and supporting Palestine in any meaningful way. If he doesn't, I feel there might, especially in the UK, be a very big stink made about it, because it'll feel like the Pope is betraying them. Also, side note, on one of the comments about how the papacy wants the new Pope to roll back Catholicism to be a bit more conservative, the Pope's a direct messenger of God. I know it's vessel, messenger of God. You don't control, or well, according to them, you don't control what he says or does. That's God's job. So what do you mean you want him to do this or that? You shouldn't. Just let him do what he's going to do. It's God's will, apparently. Are they... I wonder, are all the cardinals secretly atheists? So I want in.
That's something to ponder. So I was kind of saying things, Cindy, like, what is the reaction in Belgium to, this American Pope and his he's shaking things up a little bit, I guess. Kind of, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I don't think there's been anything specific here in Belgium regarding this Pope election. There's so much anxiety and fear about what Trump is going to do in the next 4 years that I think the biggest question is, how will that influence Trump? Other than that, I don't see the Pope having a big influence here. So
that's interesting, because even though like you don't think the Pope has influence here in the United States, he has a lot of influence, especially because a lot of Catholic Church have become more political in recent years. When I was growing up, there was a whole lot of politics going on, but recently there's more people that's infiltrating. They're taking the evangelical approach, so you're seeing more of that infiltration within the Catholic Church. I don't know if Stephen's experiencing this in Canada. I just live where religion and politics can't stop having sex with each other, and they need to get a divorce and separate really, really badly. So
that's going to stop them from having sex.
It is. I mean, listen, we'll just take it. We'll put them in conversion therapy and tell them that you get to be religion, you get to be politics. So what is the effect you've been like? Are you seeing like an effect of the American Pope like in Canada, and how Canadians are feeling about it, or are they kind of like, it's fine?
I think it's too early to say. Whatever. I'm not especially. I'm more plugged into like a Catholic community now than I ever have been before. Now that I'm moving into one, and my partner was raised Catholic. So it's something I'm more aware of, which is good. It's not that the entire world is Mennonite or evangelical. So it's good to get those blinders off. But I think right now it's wait and see. But there's so much chaos going on in so many other parts of the world. It's just another one of those pots that are on the stovetop that is already too full. And hopefully this one doesn't boil over as well. And hopefully this one doesn't burn. But it's anyone's guess to see where things go from here. And we'll see how much impact, how much sway he even has over Catholics who, like, honestly, they want to be thinking for themselves anyway, and it's lining up with the church is just a matter of convenience. It's not like anyone changes their mind and says, oh, well, because the Pope says this, well, then I guess I'll change my mind too. People really don't like changing their mind.
No, so I did want to touch on Cindy real fast, that you mentioned, like, the global harm that the Catholic Church has done, because they've done some shite. Given the harm with, like, telling Africans not to use condoms because and in a country riddled by AIDS, telling not providing reproductive care. All those type of things, queerphobia, abuse, we can go on and on. Like, should we count this as anti-faith or anti-Catholic, or what maybe we should, also the Pope, and I think also people too that are speaking out, even if you're Catholic, what message should we be sending? Because we know that the Catholic Church sucks. So what would you like to see happen? Even if people aren't going to leave the Catholic Church, what would you like to see happen? Cindy.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I wasn't sure if you thought I'd said it, Stephen, again.
No. It's hard to see, because
I know
there's so many things wrong in the doctrine of the Catholic Church that it's hard to just single out something that we would like to improve. Like we mentioned earlier in this week, the AIDS epidemic in Africa, and Pope Francis didn't do anything good with this. On the contrary, there's so many things. I don't know what we could single out like this. It's like I said, it's the worst criminal organization on the planet. Money laundering, sexual abuse, killing children, babies, raping nuns. I mean, where do you start the list?
It's a Russian nesting doll of bad. Like, it's just, it's just bad all the way down. So, anyway, I don't have a way to wrap this up that's going to put this in a nice new little bow. Just don't support the Catholic Church, guys, and but support the nonprofits, and subscribe, and click on another video, and learn more about Catholic abuse. Like, do that. All right, everybody, take care.